everyone, welcome to the Great American Outdoors. On today's episode, we are going to be talking about the late season and what I plan to use during the late season to make me successful to close out the 2024 hunting season. Stay tuned, let's get right into it. All right, let's talk about the late season and why it's important, and then I'll get into what I actually plan to use. In my home state, I'm allowed to use a firearm during this late season. Now, I've been able to take 2 bucks already this year, which I'm very, very fortunate. So I'll be hunting for does in this late season. But it's important to understand why we're hunting the late season to begin with. It allows hunters to help manage the deer population in a time when hunting pressure is really low. It can lead to, for some that may have not been able to take their 2 bucks already, a time to where you might be able to take that bigger mature buck. It also coincides with a secondary rut, so deer are more apt to move, and at this time as well, deer are herding together. So while sometimes it does make it more difficult, especially when they're on the run, having the ability to use a firearm is directly to my advantage in my home state. So I'm very thankful for that. But it also allows me to put more food on the table. Actually, you can see a chest freezer here. That's actually where my other 2 are at currently. So, but let's get into what I'm going to use in the late season. As we take a look here at my rifle that I will be using for the late season here in my home state, this is a Savage Arms Axis 2. It is actually a package set that I was able to purchase. I wanted something that was a little bit easier to control for me. I've never been a huge shotgun hunter, although I love using my shotgun to shoot skeet and things like that. I've never found super success hunting with either a 12 gauge or a 20 gauge. So I've always opted for using a rifle. I'm a little bit more confident with it, and I'm a little bit more successful. Here in my home state, I am allowed to use a rifle. There are separate sections in which determine that. But in my home state, as long as they're meeting the qualifications and specs of what is deemed legal, I can use a said rifle during that late season. So I'll be using the Savage Arms Axis 2. It is a 350 Legend. The capacity is 4+1, 18-inch barrel. Now I have this in a composite stock with the camouflage exterior. It is a bolt action rifle, as you can see. What I liked about this gun being that composite or synthetic is the fact that for the cost, I mean, you can pick up one of these for less than 500 bucks. Getting it bore sighted, having a scope ready to go, having a reliable gun right out the go is hugely beneficial for me. I happen to live in the city where I don't really have access to be able to be sighting in rifles or any of my handguns or my shotguns or anything like that all the time. And so having the ability to have something at least bore sighted right when I leave the store gives me a little bit more confidence. And then when I actually go to the range, or I'm able to go out to our hunting property and be able to shoot a few rounds out there, it at least gives me a little bit more of a confidence boost knowing that the product is already on the right path. And having the ability to have a Bushnell scope ready to go, it's, it, and sorry, I stutter through this, but I'm trying to figure out the right words to say, but it is probably one of the better rifles I've been able to use in my home state below the line, and I'll explain what that means. So in my home state, there are two separate sections. In the lower half of the section, you can only use rifles that are center fired, that are below a certain standard or specification or bullet size. That way, because we are a densely populated area, and so they want to make sure that everyone is safe that way as well. So when we do travel above that line, I do have my 30-30, or I can use a 30-06, things like that. So, but for the most part, our hunting property is below that line. And so when I'm in bow season, that's a different story. But when we come to our main rifle or shotgun season, I'm using a rifle that meets that criteria. So I'm using that 350 Legend. And for me, it's been awesome to be able to have this gun, be able to have the features right out of the box. It's super accurate. It can pretty much drive a tack in there almost every time. The trigger pull is great. There's no real need to change any real parts, but the cool part about the Axis too is there are several parts for it as well, so you can make it even more customized to you individually. So it's a unique experience for each hunter. So as we took a look at the firearm that I'll be using in this late season, I want to also emphasize the special connection I have with the woods. Not only is it a family tradition to go hunting, but it also allows me to be a part of something special. It allows me to be a part of something that I think most people don't understand. My connection with the woods, seeing the world wake up, being out there in Mother Nature, and being able to not just harvest an animal, but be able to use almost all of that animal to provide something for my family is something really dear to me. It's more than just the harvesting of an animal. It's being able to share it with people. It's being able to put food in the chest freezer, being able to put food on the table for my family. And that special connection, I think most people don't understand unless they are a part of that community, and I'm very proud to be a part of that community. Thank you for watching The Great American Outdoors. On the next episode, we will be visiting my actual hunt, so you'll be able to see firsthand of me out in the woods. It's gonna be a little snowy. We got quite a bit of snow over here the last few days. But I hope you guys enjoyed the video today. Make sure to like, share, and subscribe, and we'll see you on the next one.